Hi, it's Stuart Fraser, PGA Professional at Sneinton Golf, and we've got a really exciting product to review for you today. We've got the brand new Titleist T-Series iron family. Now, there's a couple of new introductions to this family. Noticeably, we've got a T350 this time, which kind of sits in between the 300 and the 400 last time, and we've got a T150, which is like a little stronger, a little more powerful version of what the T100S was. I think what they've created is 4 more distinct categories this time, instead of 1 or 2 categories being a slight variation on one of the others. So really excited to try these. They look absolutely fantastic. Let's have a go with these and see how they perform. So we'll start with the T100, the original sort of player's iron that Titleist do. They have changed the looks of this quite a bit. I feel as though the sole plate's maybe a little bit wider at the toe there than what the old one was. They've really cleaned the back of this up an awful lot. We've got the Titleist logo on the top. I much prefer this new look of the T100. Having had a go with these as well, they still feel fabulous, as good as the old T100 obviously. Slightly different, can't quite put my finger on why. Performs great. It's maybe a little bit easier to hit than what last year's was. Still feels really, really solid, sounds great. It's just a fantastic product. From the top, it's got minimal offset, a really thin top line, can shape this very, very easily left to right, right to left. I'd be more than happy to put this in the bag. It's a really great iron. Moving on to the T150. Now, this is probably the one I was most excited to use. A slightly wider sole plate, bigger back. I think it's designed to launch it a bit higher. It's 2 degrees stronger lofted than what the T100 is, so a much more powerful ball flight. A lot faster off the face, obviously a fully forged iron as well, and the same really clean look that the T100 did. It looks slightly thicker on the top line, so slightly different. Confidence inspiring, I would say. It gives you a little bit more encouragement looking down on that from the top, especially in those longer irons, but it feels amazing. It feels like it rockets off the club face, this, and I would expect this, when we have a look at the results, to be particularly long in the test that we've done. But it feels great, and I'm really, really excited to see what that one can do. The next one in the family is the T200. Now, this is the one that's typically aimed at that really popular market of like a P790, some of its other competition as well. This has been improved. It's a fully forged golf club, so it'll feel fantastic. It will have that hollow noise. I'm not as much of a fan as that as I am with the others, the T100, the T150. But this thing's a rocket. It comes off the face really fast. It's super easy to use. This looks different from the top for me. I think they've cleaned this up from the top, a little bit less offset, a little bit slimmer top line, but it's very, very easy to hit. Still that slightly wider sole plate. I could also shape this really, really effectively as well. I didn't find this any harder to shape than what the others were. And interesting, I think that's the one fault I had with the old T200, is that it wasn't really workable. So interesting again to have a look at the numbers of this one. But yeah, another fantastic product, the T200. I'm just finishing off with the T350. Now, this is a completely new product in the family. It is the game improvement iron. It's got a forged face, so it'll make it feel fantastic. That's a completely new introduction from the old T300, 400 series. Really wide sole plate, super strong lofted. I mean, looking down on this, and the ball flight this gave me is a really penetrating ball flight. It looks a bit more like looking down on a 6 iron, maybe even like a 5.5 iron. It's a very, very powerful ball flight, and it's extremely easy to hit. I've tried to miss hit 1 or 2 of these on purpose, and they still came off the face amazingly well. I'd expect this to be particularly long in the test that we've done, so yeah, expect this to be a rocket. So we've got some numbers from the new T-Series family of Titleist irons. Surprised me a little bit actually, especially 1 or 2 of the longer ones, the more game improvement based ones really surprised me, but we'll get to those numbers in a second. T100 T150, the 150 is definitely quite a lot stronger than what the standard T100 is this year, so you do get quite a bit more distance out. I was getting 5 to 6 yards more. I felt as though it was a little bit more penetrating a ball flight as well. The 200 this year surprised me a little bit. The complaint side with the T200 previously was that the distance control aspect was not great. Fully forged golf club this year, didn't have any issues with that whatsoever. I averaged 163, which again is longer than the T100 and the T150. But overall, that was about 9 yards further than what the 150 was. So you see how we're increasing in distance here as the club's getting more powerful, basically. But again, I felt it was easy to hit. All of the shots were within 2 yards, 2 or 3 yards of the 163 average, which I thought was super consistent, which I'm really, really happy with. And then the big shock, the T350. I wholly expected the T350 to be super long, powerful, really, really fast off the club face, very forgiving. And it was all those things, but then what I also expected was it to be very inconsistent. So get some really hot ones coming off the club face, some slight miss hits that then didn't go anywhere near as far. But that just wasn't the thing. There was 2 yards in between my best and my worst shot. In testing this golf club, it was super easy to hit. I didn't struggle to get this thing airborne either. It flew quite high. Very easy golf club to hit. I did get 1 or 2 miss hits, but again, only slightly, and they still went pretty similar to the good ones. So this has been the big shock, is the T350. With that new forged face, it's suddenly performing really consistently, and it's another viable option for, even if there's some better players out there that just want the head a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit of offset to create a little bit of better ball flight than the others. It's super consistent, so you'll still get the aspect of distance control with it as well. Overall, there's a T-Series iron for every golfer out there. The 350s for the high to mid handicap. The 200, based at your sort of your P790 type market. You know, that's it's not a game improvement iron. It looks much better, less offset, but gives you really high performance. And then you've got your 100 and your 150, which are aimed at your lower handicap golfers, your elite golfers. Give you fantastic feel, exceptional control. But then they've made that 150 a little bit stronger this year, so that's for the guy that's just searching for that little bit of distance as well. Overall, the whole family's fantastic, and I love what they've done this year. They've segregated all the irons a little bit more to make them all a little bit different from each other, and that's going to be really popular with all the golfers out there on the market. Overall, great job, Titleist. Thanks for giving these clubs to review. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more great videos coming soon.